He's the frontrunner in the race to be the presidential Democratic nominee, and he was in RVA today. I caught up with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders before his Richmond rally to find out what he says he can do for Virginians. Virginia is generally now considered a blue state, but many of the statewide winners are so-called establishment Democrats, and somebody like Tom Perriello and other progressives have struggled. Can you change that dynamic?
I think we can. I think all Democrats are going to come together to defeat Trump, because we all understand that Trump is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country. He is a pathological liar. He is running a corrupt administration, and all of us are going to come together to defeat him. And I think what our campaign can do, maybe better than other campaigns, is bring new people into the political process. Young people, working class people who have kind of given up on politics because they've been sold out for so many years.
Well, to that end, if you look back at some of the elections here, Barack Obama in 2008 had a 74% voter turnout, a pretty high number.
Phenomenal.
Hillary Clinton still had 72% back in 2016. Are you saying you could make a number like that rise even higher?
Well, I don't know exactly what the number is, but this is what I will say. In order to defeat Trump, who has a solid core of support, we are going to need the largest voter turnout in the history of this country all over America. And I think our campaign has the energy and the excitement. I think we have the agenda that appeals to working class people, that appeals to young people, that appeals to veterans, and I think we can do that.
What about somebody specifically like Abigail Spanberger in the 7th Congressional District? She beat an incumbent Tea Party candidate, Dave Brat, and largely it was said on the coalition sort of suburban moms. Now, given the contentious debates that we've had here, especially on guns, can you help somebody like Abigail Spanberger?
I think we can. I think we can help Democrats up and down the ballot if we can grow the voter turnout. Look, here is a fact that we should not be happy about. In America, we have one of the lowest voter turnouts of any major country on earth. A lot of people sit it out. A lot of people have given up on the political process. Now, I can't guarantee you that we're going to turn all of them out, but our goal certainly is to run the strongest grassroots movement this country has ever seen. We're going to knock on millions of doors, and I think we can bring out what we call non-traditional voters in a way that we have not seen for a long time.
Has your approach to, say, Virginia voters changed? Hillary Clinton beat you here almost 2-1 in 2016. You've got a fractured field this time around, 8 total candidates, perhaps somewhat easier for a progressive, but what are you doing to reach out to those?
We're doing a lot. We are working really, really hard. I think it is fair to say that there's no campaign that has a grassroots volunteer effort like what we have. Throughout the country now, we have knocked on millions of doors, including doors here, many doors here in Virginia. We have made many, many telephone calls. We do a lot of person-to-person contact, and I think that's the way you win elections. That's what we're doing.
Should you win the nomination, will you be back in Richmond, or would you be working in other parts of Virginia?
Virginia is a battleground state. We take nothing for granted. You're right. Virginia is turning more and more blue, but we take nothing for granted. I certainly will be back in Virginia. Winning Virginia is an important part of defeating Trump.
And finally, the superdelegate issue appeared today in the New York Times, where some superdelegates, 93 or so, told the New York Times they may be thinking twice about casting their ballots for you at the convention. Could cause some disruption, fracturing, a brokered convention, whatever you want to call it. What are your thoughts on that report?
My thoughts is that the candidate who walks into the convention in Milwaukee with the most votes is going to come out with the nomination. It will be very hard for superdelegates, part of the Democratic establishment, the political establishment, to explain to the American people, oh, we decided not to give the nomination to the candidate who ended up with the most votes. That will be a hard thing to explain, I think.
All right, and we plan to extend an invitation to every major party candidate to sit down for an interview for the News at 7, and we will post this one to WTVR.com. Francis?